Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Operation 2 video. That is the Ga-Zowmn. I think that's how you pronounce that. And yeah, that's the new suit, and I got some initial thoughts here for you. And I'm gonna say right now, the Gazome is easily the best of the Gaza series. Although it doesn't have the Gaza C meme cannon, the one that does like absurd damage to some suits, and it doesn't have like the transformation weapons like the Gaza D. It certainly has. It's better suited more for general stuff, in my opinion, playing this suit. And these two matches here, this first one here is actually my first match testing it out. And the next match, I believe, might be the second or something further down the line. I can't remember exactly. It was fucking late at night, early in the morning. And yeah, I liked it. And I guess I'll go ahead and start off with some stats. You have 17,000 health, 10 ballistic, and 12 beam resistance. Pretty low. This is level 1, 450. I have the level 2, which is 500. And then you have 20 melee resistance, 20 range strength, and 32 melee strength. You have 70 thruster gauge and 60 turn speed. And then for slots, you have 18 close, 14 mid, and 8 long range slots. Now, definitely worth pointing out here is you have pretty low ballistic and beam resistance for 450. At 500, I believe you get 12 ballistic and 14 beam resistance, which I work with. I can work with that. I can definitely get my beam resistance up, and then I can still. The way I built this is that I did like a general buff to my unit. I gave it some melee parts, some range parts, and gave myself some extra resistances. The health, I'm fine with it being that way, but I want to just make this more of a general unit, And hey, that was a pretty good curve of the missiles there, which I guess we're gonna go into our primary weapons now. Well, I guess they're just our weapons in general. And oh man, this poor guy's gonna get downswing twice. I'm sorry I had to downswing my own teammate there, but I had to do it to him. Hey, he said it's fine though. So, also what was really strange this match was that our raid was going off by himself and then telling us to bunch up and like good work, and it was like, well, dude, maybe just stay with the team. Maybe he does plant a bomb, or she, and it does help out in the end, so I guess that's something. But yeah, primary weapons. You have the Hyper Knuckle Buster, which is not the. It doesn't work like the Toad Shredders. It is. It still has an E-Pack, and it's instant stuns, and it's 1,700 damage. You get 4 rounds and 350 range. Then you have the Gazome Beam Saber, which is 2,200 damage, and that can work well with its melee, which I forgot to mention. It has pretty good melee damage, so you definitely want to be hitting your downswings when possible. And then and it has the. I'm pretty sure the Gyaradoga doesn't have this original moveset, but I'm going to call it. I'm going to say the Gazome has the Gyaradoga's moveset because it has the same downswing and neutral swing with its Beam Saber. The same as the like it's using its like an axe, at least for the downswing, and it does chunky damage. And then for secondary weapons, you have the beam gun, which I guess is like the arm spot guns you have. It has 325 damage, 20% heat rate, and 300 range, which pretty decent range actually. And those things stun in 4 hits, and I believe you can shoot it 5 times, but yeah, pretty good for maybe you want to start off with a stun that way, then use your instant stun rifle. You can definitely get some rapid fire stuns, And then you have the 9-tube missile pod times 2, which is 250 damage. You have 18 rounds, 350 range, and you can guide them as well, which is really good. I was trying to mess around with how far you can curve it during these two matches, and you can turn it pretty far as long as the enemy's far enough away. If you're really close, it'll take some time for your missiles to they have to get a certain distance before they start turning, But But yeah, and they stun 5 missiles, or missile shots. So if you want to get a stun, well, there you go. Use your missiles to get 5, and you have 18 rounds. So, or you can do it like I do and just spam all of it at the same time, and get damage that way. Definitely, you can use your missiles, get a stun, go for your beam gun, get another stun, then go for your instant stun rifle, and then go for a downswing. Pretty useful. And then for your mobile armor modes, you still have the Hyper Knuckle Buster, which shares your ammo, so there's no different ammo capacity there. And then you also have the double beam gun, which does 250 damage, also 20% heat rate, and 275 range. And they're pretty much, they do the same thing as the regular beam gun. And now I look at it, they actually do less damage, but I guess it's because there's 2 of them you're shooting, so you can get about, let's see, that's 500 damage, I think, going off the top of my head. So, and they stun in 4 hits as well. I do wish, never mind, I'll talk about that later, but some weapons I think they could have added for the mobile armor mode. But yeah, skills, you got shock absorber level 3, you got a dodge roll, you got blast stabilizer, you definitely got balancers, thank God. You got ambac level 2, you also get force injectors level 2, you have a add-on buffer level 2 for your shoulders. I'm not sure which shoulders. I'm gonna guess it's the where your missile pods are. That's where I'm counting. It doesn't have a back, it looks like, back buffer, so just the shoulder buffers, which I'm gonna assume, yeah, that's where the missile pods are. The missile pods. You get flight control level 2, you got some radar, you can actually scope and zoom in and out with this thing, I guess, if that's helpful. I don't really use it. And you got melee combo controller, and then you can transform, and then in mobile armor mode, you got your typical mobile armor mode stuff. It's not a support, so you're not going to get shot out of the sky in one hit. That would suck, because this thing's fucking huge when it's in mobile armor mode. And yeah, that about does it for the stuff on the Gazome, which I have to say, not a bad suit at all. Now, again, I'll say it's easily the best of the Gaza series, which, if you don't know, this is a Gaza suit. I guess they thought the Gaza C and D shit was too silly, and like, oh fuck, this one's actually kind of a good suit. It's called the Ga-Zowmn. I think it actually had another name. Was it the Gaza W? One of those? Something. But yeah. Actually, no, I think the Gaza W was the one that had the really weird, elongated head. But yeah, I'm going to die in the middle of my dodge roll, but that's fine. 20 seconds left in this match. But yeah, there's definitely some really good upsides and some, well, obvious downsides for this suit. I guess I'll start off with the downsides, since they're pretty obvious, is that your resistances to beam and ballistic is pretty low, almost to camphor levels. But I think it's fine for level 2. Oh, well, timeout. We're going to do this real fast. And we'll get on to the next match. Yeah, mission completed. And we'll see what we got going on for our first match here. And, hey, top damage, 80,000. I'm fine with that. Didn't beat my rival, sadly, but let's see what we got going on for our rank after I praise some people. Hey, third place, 4 and 3. Not too bad, I guess. Third place in individual score. And then, yeah. So, the ballistic and beam resistance for this suit is pretty low, but at level 2, I'm fine with it because I can use my part slots to get myself at least to 32 beam resistance, and then I can buff up my melee and my damage. I think I also buffed up my thruster gauge as well, which is the loadout I used for both of these matches, and honestly, it worked fine for me. Now, I haven't played this at level 1, so maybe it's different playing there. But I can still see this thing working really well for 450, especially with the suits around there that don't have maneuver armor. There's only very few, like stuff like raids, which this thing will dump on a raid if it gets a chance to, especially with this downswing. Unfortunately, I don't get as much melee as I should have been during these 2 matches. But again, the downswing on this suit chunks, which positive. Another negative, this suit's pretty big. Not big width-wise, it seems, but big length-wise, and that can be pretty troublesome, especially if you're pulling out your missiles and then you increase the height of your suit, you know? So just be aware, just be aware of who you're next to. Don't get shot, you know? Oh man, the PS4 skipped when I transformed and killed somebody with my beam guns. That sucks. Fuck. Another, I guess, downside is that it does its secondary weapons do a lot of chip damage. You mostly want to go for instant stuns and your melee for like your major damage, which I mean again it can do that, but if you're looking to kill with your lower weapons, you better hope the enemy you're fighting is really low on health. But yeah, on to positives is that this suit has a really good kit. I know I mentioned earlier that you can do your missiles to your beam gun to your instant stun to your melee, and that can be pretty devastating. And this thing has ballistic missiles, and they rapid fire. You can home in on people with them, and because a lot of people have low ballistic resistance at this cost, you can rack up some pretty nice damage. You know, if you want to buff up your range. For my loadout, I did that. And man, look how far those beam guns shoot. Which, yeah, that's another positive, is the missiles and the beam guns can shoot really far away. This suit is really good at maintaining a mid-range presence to help your team. And, you know, you want to encroach eventually to get into melee range. Oh, hey, I just noticed that guy's all in health, so let's go ahead and ram him. Sadly, I don't think the hitbox increases that much when it's in transformation mode. That would be awesome, just clothesline people with your wings there. But yeah, definitely this suit works. To me, it's the best Gaza because it can just do a lot of stuff. It can do a lot of roles. You know, usually with the Gaza C, you want to stick out, shoot with your beam gun, and then float around, wait a little bit, maybe throw in some melees. Maybe go into your transformation, do your shoulder beam cannons, you know. Wait until that readies up again, get another beam shot. The Gaza D is a weird one because it's like a lower damaging. That guy just broke my legs with a sticky launcher. Holy shit. The Gaza D does a little bit less damage with its beam gun and also has missiles, but a lot of its good stuff is in its transformation mode, I believe, because I still think it's not as good on the ground as it is in space. In space, I think the Gaza D is really good. But yeah, the Ga-Zowmn, my bad, don't disrespect it, you know, putting a letter in its name, it's the Ga-Zowmn. The Gazome can work at mid-range, it can work at close range. Sorry, I actually had to go do something, so I'm back, and yeah, the Gazome can do mid-range, it can do close range. It's definitely more general focused, I believe, than the Gaza D and the Gaza C. Definitely the Gaza C. More so. I think it's got a great, as I said earlier, it's got a great mid-range presence, and as it encroaches into close range territory, it can really help out in front line. It's not exactly a front-lining suit. You know, it's not going to be your Garibaldi Beta or your Mark II, if, you know, we're going by 500. But it can definitely play a very nice supporting general role, and I really enjoy that. I enjoy that kind of style of play, because I do play supports a lot. I like the Zusa, I like the Hyzak Custom, even though the Hyzak Custom doesn't really fit this suit as much as the Zusa. But this really feels like it's a great suit to have one of in your team. You don't want to have a whole team of Gazom's, you know, because it does have pretty low resistances, even though you can kinda buff it up. But yeah, you just want to be careful with it, definitely. So I guess to reiterate, your weaknesses and your strengths. I guess we'll start with strengths now, going backwards. Suit has really good mid-range presence, great supporting general role. It has transformation and flight, so that way, even though I already mentioned this almost every time there's a flying suit, flight is good in of itself, even if it's something like a support that doesn't have shock dampeners. This suit does have shock dampeners, but just saying that the flight is good in itself, that you can get to higher positions, you can ram people, all that good stuff with flight. This thing has pretty easy stun options. 5 missiles, 4 beam shots. That man was very predictable. I kind of record this a little bit later, so maybe it's past the part where I kicked him, but he countered the Gaz. But yeah, and then of course you got the instant stun rifle, and you have a pretty high damaging melee. Like it's one of those that can take a decent chunk. And if you want to build melee, you can, but I would recommend you consider your resistances in mind, because those are really low. Which, in the weaknesses, this thing has pretty bad resistances. I made the level 2 work because I got it to like 30 something beam resistance, and I still, was doing pretty good damage and did pretty alright these 2 matches. And actually, most of the matches I've done really good with the level 2. And another weakness is you're big, lengthwise. So be careful if your side is facing somebody, and you be careful when you're doing your missiles, because you increase your height. Your mobile armor mode is also really big. I think I forgot to mention that as a weakness, is that your mobile armor is going to be big, so don't fly really close to people that can gun you down really easily, like a Gaz, or a Gaz. Yeah, I think I already said that, the Gaz. Yeah. That thing will shoot you down pretty easily, like it can other flying suits. And don't expect to get like a bunch of damage off just chipping at people, because you have really good melee. So you want to start at mid range and get closer for your melee and stuff. And yeah, that can make the suit really work. We're near the end here. Actually, no, it is the end. Time out. And we'll see what we got going on here. Yeah, mission completed. We'll see what we got going on. I say again. Hey, top individual score, 4,170. Nice. Support did really good. I think I'm going to praise him. I hope. Yes, I did. And I think, yeah, the Rick Diaz as well. And yeah, second place, 6-2. Not too bad at all. I think actually got a little bit more damage in the last match. And yeah, that is the Gazome, which honestly, would I recommend this? Yeah, I think I would recommend it, but obviously people are going to be saving up for anniversary, so if you're doing that, go ahead and continue saving, because this is a 2-star grunt suit. I do think the suit's good, but it's not going to be like the best compared to stuff like the Barzam. The Barzam's still pretty good at 450. Obviously, something like the Mark II is still going to be dominating 500. But this suit, I think it fits pretty well in both these costs. At least I'm basing it off the level 1 from the level 2, because level 2, I'm doing excellent with level 2. I'm really liking the 500 cost version of this suit. I can make it work. But yeah, I think I would recommend it. If you want to spend the tokens on that, it is a 2-star, so be careful, because 2 stars are probably more rare than 3 stars now. But but if you do snag this, just make sure you know what you're getting into with this suit. Yeah, I do think it's good, and I'm glad I got it, honestly. The only problems I have with the suit, again, is that the resistances can be pretty low, and if you want to go like for a specific build, like if you want to go just straight melee boost gauge, you have to worry about your defenses. So just, yeah, again, keep that in mind. I have to reiterate, because that's something a lot of people don't realize with some of their suit picks. You have some campers that face charge, and then somebody shoots them for 4,000 damage, and there goes half their health. Or something like the Dovenwolf, where they think they can get cocky and go into melee range, and then gets downswung like twice or once by a really strong melee suit, and they're just wasted pretty much. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind with this suit, your resistances. But do keep in mind its strength. It has really good melee strength. And it has really excellent weapons. So if you want to buff up the defense, do what I do, where I buff up my beam defense because more people are going to be using that, and then go for buff up your melee, buff up your boost gauge, and buff up your range strength. That way you have a more general build. And yeah, it worked really well and still carrying me. But yeah, that's going to be in this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, type up in the comment section what you feel about the Ga-Zowmn. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I've already seen some people not liking it, which it's understandable because that resistance is a huge turnoff. But honestly, I'm making it work, and I do love the way this suit plays and how easy it is to stun people, restun them, and go in for some nice chunky melee damage. Again, this plays a perfect supporting general role, and that fits me just fine, because that's what I like to play, is a more supporting role. And you can see some of the results from these two matches. Definitely, you know, decent, at least. Now, as the weeks go on, probably people are going to be more used to, like, fighting it, so they'll probably just range the suit or try and shoot at it. They want to get this thing, they want to get away from this thing, but again, the really good missiles and far away damaging beam guns and all that, so it's going to be nice to see how this suit evolves in the next few weeks, maybe until the next suit comes out. But yeah, and I think, I don't think, we know, me, Honey, and I think Mick did a all Gaza, an all Gaza team, where we had the, I believe Honey was in the Gaza C, Mick was in the Gaza D, and I was the Gazome, and then we had a raid and a support that were randoms, and we did a space match. we were the only generals on our team. It was actually really close, and I recorded it, and I think I'll post it sooner rather than later. It was interesting, you know. And I guess, you know, I can bring back to some negatives here, is that the missiles can be a little bit hard to hit in space because the suit doesn't have gimbal, so it's not going to turn down as much as other suits. So I guess, you know, a last second weakness, you can't do that. Although, you know, you can still turn your missiles pretty far. But yeah, that's going to be it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.